Hey yo, what's up YouTube, man? It's your boy Jay Prince, and I'm kind of tired right now. Basically, I just wanted to talk about. I know it's kind of late, but I wanted to talk about the situation that's got a lot of people heated. The Katt Williams situation, where he supposedly, went off on the Mexican race and culture, and he was talking all this mess about them and disrespecting them. First of all, you got to take a lot of time in consideration, especially when you're dealing with a comedian. The whole purpose of a comedian is to insult people, to offend people in their races, and to make laughs about it. In all honesty, I feel like comedians are like one of the greatest people in the world because I've always found that laughter is a beauty that's in the world, and it helps people to mask and deal with their pains and struggles. So sharing a laugh with your fellow race or your fellow people is always something that's good. But at the same time, I've seen the video myself. I've never been the kind of person where I'll just take somebody's word for it because I've watched over 30 response videos, and it kind of made me want to make this video to really talk to people and really help them to understand that you need to let stuff like that go. Supposedly there was this lady who made this really, you know, emotional message to Katt Williams, talking about how he doesn't know anything about her culture and all this and that and the third. But in all honesty, man, I understand your anger. I understand that you might feel like somebody disrespected your culture, but coming from a person who's African American or somebody who's black or whatever you want to call me, I deal with stuff like that all the time, just like regular people do. You're not special. You're not. You're not. I mean, you're pretty much just a regular human being like the rest of us. What makes the fact that somebody disrespected your culture, or you feel like somebody disrespected your culture, make you any different from the rest of the world? People disrespect white people. People disrespect black people. People disrespect Mexicans. People disrespect Asians. They're called stereotypes. They happen all the time. You know what? You need to just let it go. Personally, that's what I feel. You need to just let it go and move on with your life. Because in all honesty, people are always going to be hating on you. People are always going to be talking about you. And people get upset about this whole racial thing, but when you really think about it, the whole racial idea is just a bite of the apple. People are going to hate against you because you're a boy. They're going to hate against you because you're a girl. They're going to hate against you because you're light skinned. They're going to hate it because you're black and you're light skinned. They're going to hate it against you because you're black. They're going to hate against you because you're Mexican, Asian. You get the point, pretty much. People are going to find reasons to hate on you. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what your race is. It doesn't matter what your gender is. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. People are going to find reasons to hate because humans are naturally scared of things that they don't understand. And that's point blank. That's pretty much it. And people are going to hate against you because you might be richer than they are, or your lifestyle might be better than theirs. That's just how people naturally operate. They use stuff like that to either cause pain amongst people that think they're doing better than them, or they use it as fuel to become those people or exceed them. And in all honesty, man, you really gotta let stuff like that go because it's just gonna bring you down as a person. And between me and you, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. The words that people tell you and the things that people say, they're just words. The people who give them power are you. A man could come up to me right now and call me a nigger and I wouldn't get upset. Not because I feel like I'm letting it go and I'm playing the safe road, but it's because the origin of that word, I don't you know call myself the N word, and I damn sure don't answer to it. So if somebody calls you it, if you're answering to it, or you're getting upset about it, then aren't you pretty much confirming what they just called you? That's like you standing outside and somebody calling you a name that's not yours. If your name is Bill and you standing outside and somebody called Ashley, would you turn around and say, hey? No, you wouldn't, because that's not your name. My name is Frederick Lamar Johnson Jr., and that's what I go by. Freddie for short. J Prince if you want to call me that. I don't go by anything else. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just a word. And all those are just words. People need to let those words go and move on with their life. And with this whole Mexican American, Asian American, African American, all these other Americans, that's bull. You're an American. If you were born in America or you came from your country because you couldn't deal with the stresses or whatever happened, you were trying to save your family, I give props to you because I've never had to deal with that kind of struggle, you know. And I think that's the problem with people in the world. They don't understand other people's points of view. If you needed, between me and you, if you truly needed to come over here to save your family or to save yourself, then I'm all for that. I have nothing against you or no problems against you. And if you came into this country and you're prospering and you're doing great for yourself, that's more power to you. I don't have anything against you for that. Now, what I do have a problem with is the valid point that he made, that Katt Williams made, is if you're going to come to a country, you need to respect the country that you're in and not bash it. Because if you're going to do that, you might as well go back to the country you came from. Now, in the same token, the same flip of the coin, there are a lot of Americans that talk shit about America, you know, and I think that's one of the big problems that we have now is people have this misconception that even though America's a great place, America's not perfect and it never will be. And until people can truly understand that, they're never going to. They're truly never going to. And people need to get over that whole racial profiling thing because, like I said before, it's full circle. People don't realize it sometimes. You know, people are like, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of racist minorities out there. People racist against black people. People racist against white people. People racist against Mexican people, Asian people. That's just life. That's life. It's never going away. People might get to the point where they're so scared to do it out front and do it behind closed doors, but even then, it's still there. So that's why you can't live your life being concerned about it, being upset about it, because you can't do anything about it. And in all honesty, I know this might make little people upset, but it's the truth. White people aren't your enemy. And I'm going to give it a pause, because I know some people are going to be like, oh, I can't believe he said that. Yeah, I said it. They're not your enemy. Black people are not your enemy. Mexican people are not your enemy. And Asian people are not your enemy. Your true enemy is yourself. You're your biggest friend. You're your biggest foe. You're your biggest challenge. Whatever a race or civilization has done to your people or vice versa in the past is the past. Let it be the past. Stop bringing up old stuff. Have you been in shackles? Have you been whipped? You know, have your people been oppressed? If you're Mexican American or you're African American, whatever the American name they come up with, and you're living your life and you ain't never had to go through no struggles in life, what the fuck are you complaining for? Stop. I understand that, you know, it might be upset where you feel like your culture has been tarnished or been messed up in some kind of way. But in all honesty, America is a mixture of all of our cultures. That's why, honestly, I feel like that's the reason why America is one of the greatest places that it is. Because I love learning from other cultures. Other cultures have always fascinated me because I always love to learn, you know, what things that they're doing that might be able to help me to be a better person. And I honestly believe that. I believe that being in America not only is a great place to live, but it's a great place to learn. Because when you have people coming from China, people coming from Mexico, people coming from Europe, people coming from Asia, Brazil, you know, they're bringing their traditions and family values over. And that's something that can help us to become better as people. And people need to stop worrying about stuff about a comedian says. I mean, yeah, Katt Williams is, you know, he's a comedian. You know, that's what they do. They're paid to offend people, make fun of people, you know, crack jokes. That's what they do. You know, even though that isolated situation showed that he was getting a little upset about the whole situation. I mean, so what? You know, so what? Let it go. It happens, you know. There are a lot of comedians out there that have said things similar to what he said or even worse. You know, you ever heard of Richard Pryor? You know, the man who created the foreground for black people to really say what the freak they wanted to say anyway. You know, and I just feel as though people need to be worried about more important issues in the world, like the fact that we're on the verge of a Great Depression or a huge financial crisis, or we got kids out there that are struggling to find their next meal. You got people out there that are struggling, people that are getting hit by national disasters, and they're trying to rebuild their lives back together. And the fact that so many things are going wrong in this world, in the United States especially, that whatever a comedian says should be the last thing on your mind, you know. And I just feel as though that people need to just understand that simple fact and concept. and move towards the future. You know, people get upset about what they feel like another race has done to them and all this and that and the third. But in all honesty, a race can't beat you up no more than you beating yourself up for your own race. Because in all honesty, if you really didn't want your life to be the way it is, stop complaining about it and do something about it. The only reason why the civil rights movement worked was because people did something about it. The Civil War happened because someone did something about it. Gay rights movement, women's rights movement, women's suffrage, it happened because somebody did something about it. They didn't sit there on their ass and sit there on their couch and watch TV and complain about how crappy or messed up their life is. They got up and did something about it. And that's what people need to do. Stop coming on YouTube and creating all these response videos just to get your face on a page or get your name shown or whatever BS that you're talking about, and do something about it. And until we figure that out, you know, we're going to constantly be in this mess that we're in. And until we figure that out, there's no hope for us. And Katt Williams or not, the fact still remains. Racial profiling and all that is never going away. And until people can learn to accept it and move on with their lives, we're pretty much going to be at a standstill. Now, I know for right now that I have nothing against no races or people of origin, no matter who you are, because I love people 100% who they are. Unless you do something to me to make me want to, you know, have a problem with you, then that's that. But until we figure that out, we're going to have to find something else. And that's pretty much all I got to say. I appreciate y'all time, and hope y'all have a blessed day. And God bless everybody. Amen.